Hi, I'm Erin from Cottage Designs by Erin, and today I have a special request to show my viewers how to make a doll dress that will fit a 20-inch Revlon or Cissy doll. So I'm going to talk a little bit about patterns. This is a pattern by Advance, and it is really cute. The skirt is very nice, but let me show you the difference in skirt patterns, okay? The Advance pattern looks like this. Do you see how much shorter that is than the actual other pattern we're using? We are using the McCall's 2162. This is the pattern that you see everywhere. We are making this dress right here. The McCall's pattern is about 6 inches longer than the Advance pattern. Now, what's good about the Advance pattern is that will fit on modern day fabrics that are not as wide. But if you want that big, glorious skirt that we all do want, you have to use the larger pattern. So let me show you the difference in skirts. This is a finished dress using the Advance pattern. It's cute. It's functional. But this is the skirt using the pattern we're using today, the McCall's pattern. We want this big, exaggerated look for this era doll. All right, so let me put these little dresses aside. Both of those dresses are for sale in my online store, Cottage Designs by Erin. All right, so the first thing you're going to do is you are going to cut your skirt out on the fold. It would say go this way. It says center front fold. Center front fold right here. You're going to put this on the fold and you're going to cut it out. Now, mine is a little shorter because I already have it pinned up for hemming. You are also going to cut out your bodice on the fold. So it's on the fold. That just means you fold your fabric and you lay your bodice there, just like this. You're going to cut out 2 bodices because we are going to line this dress. All right, now, the tricky part of making these dresses is all of these darts. You would have 2 in the front at the waist and 2 in the back at the waist. They are an absolute pain to make. So I'm going to show you a little tip and trick that I've used to get past the darts. Fold your fabric back in half, just as if it were on the fold. Make sure you have a nice crease down the center. Take your scissors and cut that right up the center on the crease. So we now have a bodice that looks like this. Now you're going to match up the pattern, pin it back, and sew it 1/4 inch down the middle. That will keep you from having to make all of those darts. Okay, so I'm going to move the camera this way. Get my sewing machine over here. So we are going to now sew this right down the center. I'm just using a straight stitch on my machine. It's 2.5 on top and 3.5 on bottom. Okay, we take our pin out. And here is our bodice. That red flower was there all along. Okay, it's not anything new. This is what the bodice looks like. Take your lining and do the exact same thing so that it will fit your dress. Take your scissors and cut it right up the center. Now, this fabric that I'm using with the flowers on it is a cotton rayon blend. I am lining it with 100% cotton so that it will be a little more stable. This cotton is the same on both sides, so I don't need to do anything to it other than just go ahead and sew. All right, now we're going to open up our bodice pieces. You're going to take the lining and you're going to lay it flat on top of the print. When you flip it inside out, that will be what's facing the doll. Okay? I am going to take this to an ironing board and press it here in just a second. Okay, I'm going to shut the camera off and I'm going to go press my seams open and then I will be right back with you. All right, so I'm back with our bodice piece. I have pressed our seams open. And now I'm going to sew the bodice. I'm going to go up the back, around the neck, down the other side, and around each armhole, okay? When you get to the V on the neck, you need to really stop and dig in deep on that V. Possibly even back stitch it. Turn your fabric. Keep going. Okay, now I'm going to go around each armhole. If you're going to apply a lace around the armholes, you wouldn't really have to do this. You could just hem it under and then apply the lace. Okay, now I'm going to take my larger scissors and I'm going to clip all along the edge of this just to the stitching line, not through the stitching line. And that's so when we turn it inside out, it will lay under nicely. All right, we're going to take out the pins. Check the back of it, make sure everything is caught. Make sure you have adequate seam allowance. And now we're going to flip the bodice inside out, and this is no easy task. Okay, you keep going till you get it. I'm going to shut the camera off so I can go get my turning tool. I'm just going to, well, maybe I won't need it. Let's see here. There we go. Okay, there's one side. Now we have to do the other side. Can you imagine doing this on Barbie dresses? With those little itty bitty tiny pieces. All right. So there is our bodice. Poke out your corners because that's going to be your back. It's looking good so far. All right, then you're going to take your back piece and you're going to lay it down to your front piece. And as you can see, we have a raw edge here. That's going to be our sides. We are now going to sew up the sides. I would suggest you always start with a full bobbin because by the time you shear up the skirt, you're going to need every bit of it. All right, so we're going to start at the top. Take a couple stitches, back stitch because we don't want it to come unstitched under her arms when you're dressing her. Follow the curve of the waist. Back stitch again. Same thing on the other side. Start at the top, back stitch, follow the curve of the waist, back stitch, so if you notice, your lining does not have a raw seam now because we'd flipped it inside out. All right, then you're going to flip this. And that is our bodice. All right, now we're moving on to the skirt. I already have the skirt pinned for the hem. It takes a 2-inch hem. So I folded it under. And now we're going to go ahead and we are going to hem up the skirt. These little skirts take a lot of fabric. But that's what's going to give us that big, exaggerated poof that we love. Some people hem their skirts by hand, which you can also do. I don't typically because it takes too much time. All right. I have marked the center of this skirt with a pin so that I will know where the center is at. You always want to do that because here in a few minutes we're going to need to know, okay? So now I'm going to bring my two right sides together of the skirt and I'm going to sew it part of the way up the back. Dolly doesn't need very much room to get in, so Just stop about 2 inches from the top. All right, now we have our opening. I'm going to take this to my ironing board and I'm going to iron it, and then I'm going to sew the edges under this, and then we're going to shear up the dress and we will be in business. I'll be right back with you.